An institution steeped in tradition, history and heritage, up in smoke. With the restoration project to get off the ground, Parliament will call on various bodies and the public to assist with the process. The Secretary to Parliament, Olile George, wants to rebuild an institution that all South Africans can relate to.
What should a post-democratic parliament look like? If you were to be given a chance to influence the design process, how do we galvanize a cross-section of society to buy into that work in such a way that we could be able to imbue the rich cultural tapestry of our country to influence how a post-democratic parliament should look like? What values should it communicate?
While the fire did cause damage and destruction, this restoration project is an opportunity to create more space and make the precinct more accessible to people with disabilities. It also gives South Africans a chance to see their ideas reflected in the redesign.
So part of the work we want to do in the redesign process is also to ensure that we address those space constraints. Secondly, drive a balance between historical heritage, nature of the building in terms of the Heritage Act, but also innovate to respond to some of the constraints that were there before. And one of those is around space. The second issue is around of occupational health standards that have been very difficult to be able to comply with in a building that is historical pre-advent of those legal requirements.
But what should this balance in historical heritage and innovation look like?
Ultimately, besides being a national heritage site, Parliament is the Parliament of South Africa, and as a space in which a lot of historical moments took place. There is a lot of international precedent about restoration of old buildings. Again, if we look at France, we have the Cathedral of Notre Dame, which recently burnt down as well, and that it too is undertaking restoration work. So there'll have to be a balance between incorporating and conserving as much of the historical material where we can, and the material that is lost will have to be restored and even redesigned in certain instances.
National Treasury has set aside 2 billion rand for the project. Construction on the precinct is planned to start in January next year. George says they are committed to meeting the deadline of November 2025 for the process to be completed. Abra Babia, SABC News, Parliament.